Pacific Islander Heritage Month because May is, of course, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This list was updated April 28, 2022 at 10:58 a.m. in case you needed to know that. So without further ado, let us do... What was that? I don't know. Okay. Let's begin. Memorial Day may be the first holiday people think about when May rolls around. But that's not this month's only major celebration. Each May, for more than 40 years, America has paid tribute to the vast cultural contributions of its Asian and Pacific Islander citizens. Given that the first Asian immigrants arrived on U.S. shores more than 430 years ago, it's a tribute that was long overdue, and one worth celebrating. Here are a few fascinating facts about how Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month came to be. So, we have 5 facts, but they are lengthier than the usual facts that we read, so I think 5 should do it justice. At least I hope so. I haven't read these ahead of time. Also, if you're brand new here, feel free to subscribe. If you're old, feel free to leave a like if you go on to enjoy this video, and the bell. Okay, let's do this. Fact number 1. Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month takes place in May to mark the arrival of the first Japanese immigrant to the United States. The earliest known Asian immigrants arrived in what's now the United States in 1587, a long time ago. They sailed from the Philippines, then the Spanish East Indies, to California's coast. Later, Filipino sailors settled just outside New Orleans, Louisiana in the 18th century, creating what's believed to be the oldest Asian American settlement in the United States. But immigration from Asia to the U.S. didn't really pick up steam until the 1800s. Okay, so there are a few little facts in there, a few. First, 1587. I mean, come on, that's such a long time ago. And the fact that they settled in Louisiana, that's interesting, because they sailed from the Philippines to California's coast, and then Filipino sailors later settled outside New Orleans. I mean, hey, whatever works, right? Okay. For the first half of the 19th century, Japan remained isolated from much of the world. That began to change on May 7, 1843, the day that a 14-year-old fisherman named Manjiro stepped off a whaling ship and onto U.S. soil, becoming the first Japanese person to immigrate to the country. He had previously spent 5 months stranded on an island with his crew after a terrible storm, sent their fishing vessel off course. Wow. When an American whaling ship visited the island to collect some sea turtles, its captain, William Whitfield, invited Manjiro aboard. Whitfield later brought Manjiro home to Massachusetts, where he lived for a while before returning to Japan in 1852 as an adult. Wow. I mean, imagine being stranded on an island, literally, and then being picked up, taken to a foreign country, and then only going back to your country as an adult. Almost 10 years later. I mean, come on, from 43 to 52. Wow. Interesting. Fact number 2. And the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. The foundation of the United States Transcontinental Railroad on May 10, 1869, nice, connected the nation in a way that would forever change its fortunes. But this stream of cross-country travel would have never been realized without the effort of Chinese laborers who were paid meager sums to work 6 days a week on the railroad's construction from 1864 to 1869. It said that anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 Chinese immigrants contributed to the project by laying down tracks and blasting tunnels from Sacramento, California to Promontory, Utah, where the Union Pacific met the Central Pacific Railroad. The hazards of the job, including tunneling, explosions, avalanches, and rock slides, led to the deaths of hundreds, if not thousands, of Chinese workers. Oh man. Another unfortunate point in U.S. history. I mean, what can you say, man? It's really unfortunate that so many people died just to build some train tracks. The train tracks that were built. Alright, fact number 3. America's bicentennial celebrations led one former Capitol Hill staffer to push for an AAPI Heritage Month. In the 1970s, a former Capitol Hill staffer named Jeannie Ju approached Rep. Frank J. Horton, a New York Republican, and proposed establishing an AAPI Heritage Month. Ju, whose ancestor M.Y. Lee was a Chinese immigrant worker on the Transcontinental Railroad, believed that the country's bicentennial celebrations had not adequately celebrated the contributions of Asian and Pacific Americans. Ju's forebear became a businessman who was killed in what Horton would later call a time of anti-Chinese and anti-Asian sentiments. Unfortunate. In 1977, there were several resolutions introduced with the goal of honoring AAPI in May, including one put forth by Senator Daniel Ken Inouye of Hawaii. None passed. Then in 1978, Horton and Democratic Rep. Norman Mineta of California co-sponsored a bill to designate Asian/Pacific American Heritage Week in May, which was signed by President Jimmy Carter. It wasn't until 1992 that Horton was able to introduce legislation which President George H.W. Bush signed into law, making May of each year AAPI Heritage Month. That act stated that Asian and Pacific Americans have contributed significantly to the development of the arts, sciences, government, military, commerce, and education in the United States. I mean, that's how it starts, right? Sometimes they want to give you a day or a week, and then eventually all the way to the month. And then they want to say, oh, because they've contributed significantly. I mean, of course they have. It's just look at history. It's obvious, but hey, the recognition of having a month is something that does help people who didn't know before learn a little bit more. Of course, it's not the end-all be-all, but hopefully steps in the right direction, right? Fact number 4. The Asian Pacific American Heritage Festival takes place each year during AAPI Heritage Month. For 43 years, the Coalition of Asian Pacific Americans has hosted a festival in celebration of AAPI Heritage Month. In a typical year, the The event, which takes place in New York City's Chinatown, includes food, art, and musical performances highlighting AAPI culture in its many forms. Throughout May 2022, the Coalition of Asian Pacific Americans will be hosting both virtual and in-person events through EventHub. Yeah. Asian American and Pacific Islanders, the culture is so cool. So if you have a chance to just observe respectfully, learn something, because they have some pretty cool things in their cultures. Check it out. Alright, fact number 5, and this is the last fact for this video. This one is 3 paragraphs though, and in each paragraph I'm sure there will be multiple things to learn. Alright, let's do it. At the beginning of 2022, the Federal Asian Pacific American Council, the FAPAC, which is a non-profit, non-partisan organization representing Asian Pacific Americans in the federal government, announced that this year's AAPI Heritage Month theme would be Advancing Leaders Through Collaboration. This is a continuation of an overall 4-year Advancing Leaders theme that began in 2021 with Advancing Leaders Through Purpose-Driven Service and will continue through 2024. With 2022's theme, FAPAC is looking to embrace collaboration among leaders in the government and local communities, especially when it comes to AAPI members, stressing that collaboration across agencies sparks innovation in organizations due to the diversity of creative ideas and openness for dialogue and understanding. While it's one organization's theme, there are others throughout the country too. At Indiana University, for example, the school is focusing on a theme of renew and rebuild our communities and beyond, which aims to explore how groups might uplift one another during times when POC, people of color, live with a heightened sense of otherness. Then at Syracuse University, leaders decided on a theme of regrounding, celebrating our identity, in order to share and celebrate the pride, strength, and joy of the AAPI community. Yeah, okay, so as you see, there are plans going well into 2024. I shouldn't say well into, I said plans continuing through 2024. Well, yeah, because you have to complete 2024 for 2024 to count, right? Yeah. Looking to advance the cause of AAPI, it's a great thing. Learn about cultures, learn about each other. Be kind to everyone, I think it's an awesome thing. As per usual, I'm gonna have links to this article here and also the government website about AAPI. And of course, go to this article and click on all of these links. Learn more. Educate yourself about other cultures. It's you might learn something, and even if you don't, gain some respect and for other cultures. It's pretty awesome. Okay, thank you so much for watching and or listening to this video. I appreciate you all. And remember, be kind.